Brain fog rarely comes out of nowhere. For a lot of people, it's the predictable result of a few small sleep mistakes that quietly stack up overnight. You wake up technically rested, but your focus feels slippery, your memory feels slower, and simple tasks take more effort. The good news is that brain fog after sleep often points to specific, fixable patterns. And you don't need perfect sleep to think clearly. You need fewer disruptions to the parts of sleep that restore attention and mental speed. In this breakdown, we'll focus on the most common mistakes that interfere with deep sleep and REM sleep, because those stages support learning, emotional steadiness, and next-day clarity. We'll also talk about timing. When you sleep can matter almost as much as how long. As you listen, think of this like a checklist. Pick 1 or 2 changes that feel realistic, test them for a week, and notice what shifts in your mornings. Small adjustments can create surprisingly clean mental mornings. Moving to slide 2. Mistake number 1 is simply not getting enough total sleep, even if it's only by a little. Many people think sleep loss is only a problem when it's extreme, but even shaving off 45 to 90 minutes can reduce attention, working memory, and reaction speed the next day. Your brain does a lot of maintenance during sleep, clearing metabolic waste, balancing neurotransmitters, and stabilizing what you learned. When sleep is short, your brain prioritizes survival basics and sacrifices the fine-tuning that makes thinking feel smooth. Another trap is the idea that you can push through with willpower. You can push through, but it often costs more effort for the same output, and that drains motivation fast. If you're consistently foggy, start by tracking your real sleep time, not just time in bed. Then aim for a steady window that gives you enough room to fall asleep and still wake naturally. Moving to slide 3. The next mistake is irregular sleep timing. Going to bed and waking up at very different times across the week. Even if your total hours look fine, your brain runs on circadian rhythm, which is basically an internal timing system. When your schedule swings, your body can be sleepy at the wrong time and alert when you want to sleep. That mismatch can fragment sleep and reduce the quality of deep and REM stages. A common example is sleeping in much later on days off. It feels like recovery, but it can shift your internal clock and make the next night harder, creating a loop of late bedtime and groggy mornings. Studies often describe this as social jet lag because it resembles traveling across time zones without leaving home. A practical approach is to keep your wake-up time fairly steady, then adjust bedtime gradually. If you want to change your schedule, move it in small steps, like 15 to 30 minutes every few days. Moving to slide 4. Mistake number 3 is bright light at the wrong time, especially in the hour or 2 before bed. Your brain uses light as a powerful signal for when to be awake. Bright, cool-toned light can suppress melatonin, the hormone that helps your body prepare for sleep. That doesn't just delay bedtime. It can also make your sleep lighter and more fragmented, which is a recipe for next-day fog. Screens get most of the blame, but overhead LEDs and bright room lighting can do the same thing. The fix is not never use screens. It's creating a dimmer, warmer light environment as bedtime gets closer. Lower the brightness, use warmer bulbs, and keep the room lighting soft. If you need to be on a device, reduce brightness and avoid blasting your eyes in a dark room. The goal is to tell your brain clearly and consistently that night is starting. Moving to slide 5. Another common mistake is caffeine that's timed too late. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine, a chemical that builds sleep pressure across the day. Even when you feel like caffeine doesn't affect you, it can still reduce deep sleep and increase micro-awakenings that you don't remember. And that's exactly how you can wake up foggy. Your sleep looked normal, but it wasn't as restorative. The tricky part is that caffeine's half-life is long. For many people, a meaningful amount is still in the system 6 to 8 hours later, sometimes longer, depending on genetics, stress, and other factors. So, an afternoon coffee can quietly push your brain into lighter sleep at night. A simple experiment is to set a caffeine cutoff time and keep it consistent for a week. If you still want something warm later, try caffeine-free options like herbal tea. The goal is not perfection, it's fewer hidden sleep disruptors. Moving to slide 6. Mistake number 5 is heavy or late meals that your body is still processing while you're trying to sleep. Digestion is work. If you eat a large meal close to bedtime, your body may stay more activated, and that can raise core temperature and disrupt sleep continuity. Some people also notice more reflux-like discomfort, which can cause brief awakenings that you don't fully remember. On the brain fog side, fragmented sleep is the big issue, because your brain needs long, uninterrupted blocks to cycle through deep sleep and REM. A helpful rule of thumb is to give your last substantial meal a buffer before bed. If you're genuinely hungry later, a smaller, simpler snack tends to be easier on sleep than a heavy, rich meal. Also pay attention to how certain foods affect you personally. Spicy, very fatty, or very sugary meals can be more disruptive for some people. The goal is to make nighttime boring for your digestive system, so your brain can do its overnight reset. Moving to slide 7. Mistake number 6 is drinking a lot of fluids too close to bedtime, then getting stuck in the loop of waking up to use the bathroom. Even 1 or 2 awakenings can matter if it breaks up your sleep cycles at the wrong time. And once you wake up, your brain can start problem-solving, checking the time, or thinking about the next day. That mental activation is often what turns a quick bathroom trip into a longer stretch of wakefulness. The fix is mostly about timing. Hydrate well earlier in the day, then taper in the last couple of hours before bed. If you do wake up, keep the environment as low stimulation as possible. Dim light, no scrolling, no clock watching. Also consider that frequent nighttime urination can have several causes, including sleep apnea or other issues, so it's worth paying attention if it's persistent. For many people, though, it's simply a habit pattern that can be adjusted with a few days of consistent timing. Moving to slide 8. Mistake number 7 is a bedroom that's too warm. Temperature is not just about comfort, it's biology. Your body naturally drops its core temperature as it moves into sleep, and a cooler environment often supports that process. When the room is warm, you may fall asleep, but your sleep can become lighter, with more tossing, turning, and brief awakenings. The next day, that can feel like brain fog, low motivation, and slower thinking. You don't need an ice-cold room. You need a stable, slightly cool environment that doesn't fluctuate all night. Breathable bedding can make a big difference because overheating often happens under the covers. Also watch for heat sources, like electronics, sunlight stored in the room, or a heater cycling on and off. If you wake up sweaty or repeatedly kick off the blanket, that's a clue. Adjusting temperature is one of the fastest, most measurable changes for sleep quality. Moving to slide 9. Mistake number 8 is noise that causes micro-arousals. You might think, I sleep through it, but your brain still reacts to sound, even if you don't fully wake up. Those tiny arousals can pull you out of deeper stages and reduce how restorative the night is. Common culprits are traffic, neighbors, pets moving around, or a partner snoring. Over time, that can show up as morning fog, irritability, and trouble concentrating. The goal is to make your sleep environment more predictable. If you can reduce the source, do that first, closing a window, moving a charger that buzzes, fixing a rattling vent. If you can't, consider masking the variability with a steady sound, like a fan or a simple white noise device. Earplugs can help some people too, if they're comfortable and used safely. What matters most is consistency. Your brain relaxes when the night feels stable and non-threatening. Moving to slide 10. Mistake number 9 is doing mentally activating work right before bed. That includes intense problem-solving, heated messages, stressful news, or even exciting entertainment that keeps your brain on high alert. Sleep isn't just about being tired, it's also about being downshifted. If your nervous system is still in dough mode, you can fall asleep later, wake more easily, and spend more time in lighter sleep. The next day, that can feel like your brain is stuck in second gear. A better approach is a short wind-down routine that signals closure. It can be simple. Dim lights, a warm shower, light stretching, or a few minutes of calm reading. If your mind races, try writing down the top 3 things you don't want to forget, plus the first step for tomorrow. That offloads the mental loop. You're not trying to force sleep. You're removing the reasons your brain thinks it needs to stay alert. Moving to slide 11. Mistake number 10 is using the snooze button repeatedly. It feels like you're getting extra rest, but that extra time is usually fragmented and low quality. You're bouncing between light sleep and waking, and that can increase sleep inertia, the heavy groggy feeling that makes your brain feel wrapped in cotton. Another issue is that snoozing trains your brain to expect multiple wake-ups, which can make mornings feel chaotic. If you want to reduce brain fog, aim for one clean wake-up. That starts with setting an alarm for the time you can actually get up, not the fantasy time. If mornings are rough, consider moving your bedtime earlier by a small amount, or placing the alarm so you have to stand up to turn it off. Also get bright lights soon after waking, because light helps your brain shift into daytime mode. The goal is a clear transition, not a daily battle. Moving to slide 12. Mistake number 11 is relying on long naps to make up for poor night's sleep. Naps can be useful, but they can also steal sleep pressure and make it harder to fall asleep at night. Then you get a later bedtime, a shorter night, and more brain fog, which makes you want another nap. It becomes a self-reinforcing cycle. If you nap and wake up feeling worse, that's often sleep inertia again, especially if the nap is long enough to drop you into deeper stages. A more brain-friendly strategy is to keep naps shorter and earlier, so they refresh you without pushing your bedtime later. And if you're napping frequently because you can't stay awake, that's a signal to look at the foundation: sleep duration, timing, light exposure, and possible sleep disruptions. Naps are a tool, not a patch for chronic sleep debt. Used well, they support performance. Used poorly, they can keep the fog going. Moving to slide 13. Mistake number 12 is ignoring breathing-related sleep disruption. You don't need to diagnose anything yourself, but it helps to know the pattern. If you wake up with dry mouth, morning headaches, or you're told you snore loudly, your sleep may be getting fragmented by breathing interruptions. Studies link sleep-disordered breathing with reduced oxygen stability and repeated microarousals, which can absolutely show up as brain fog, low focus, and mood changes. The tricky part is that you can spend plenty of hours in bed and still feel mentally drained. If this sounds familiar, it's worth discussing with a qualified clinician, because there are multiple causes and multiple options. On the lifestyle side, nasal congestion and bedroom air dryness can also worsen sleep quality for some people. The key takeaway is simple. Brain fog after a full night can be a clue that your sleep is being interrupted, not just shortened. Moving to slide 14. Let's pull this into a simple plan you can actually use. If you wake up foggy, start with the big three: total sleep time, consistent wake time, and a darker, calmer hour before bed. Then pick one sleep disruptor to remove: late caffeine, late heavy meals, overheating, noise, or repeated snoozing. Run that one change for 7 nights because your brain needs a little time to stabilize. Keep notes on 2 things only: how long it took to feel alert after waking, and how steady your focus felt before lunch. That's it. If you try to fix everything at once, you won't know what helped. If you want a quick win, temperature and light are often the easiest levers. Now I'm curious, what's the one mistake you suspect is driving your brain fog most? Late caffeine or irregular sleep timing? Drop A for caffeine or B for timing in the comments. And if you want more practical science-based habit checklists like this, subscribe. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Peak performance begins with optimized biology.